Hello, I'm Carl Mills, and welcome to video 3. Here we'll be starting construction of the sides. First I'll be using willow blocks on the corners and spruce blocks for the neck and the end block. Once you've selected your material, you prepare it just squaring it off so that each one fits snugly inside of each slot on your fixture. So you want your grain running in this direction. It's the same on the end block over here. You want that grain pattern running with the center line. The corner blocks, the grain pattern is a little bit curved, and I put it in so that the grain pattern traces the outline, as in this block here. I next take some previously prepared newsprint, about the width of one column, and what I will do is I will take and glue the newsprint to the block. I'll be gluing this area in here, above and below the split line of the top and bottom sections of the fixture. Here I have the neck block glued in place. The paper is actually in between the fixture and the neck block. You got to ensure that you do not have glue on that split line. So when you go to take this apart after you've made up the sides, it will not knock the block loose and will separate easy. I have finished installing the blocks. I installed clamps to hold the blocks in position. Allow 24 hours for this glue to dry so that you can work with it without knocking the block loose. Remember, when you are installing the blocks, you want to leave a little bit of material above and below the fixture so that you can sand it down flush all at one time, which will be demonstrated later in this video. In the course of this instruction, I have decided to use quilted maple back, sides, and neck. All this material was cut out of the same block of wood. It was a billet and then resawn to the dimensions that I needed to build the instrument. Scrape them flat on both sides to determine which side would be the best to use. To scrape, you hold the scraper on the board at an angle and pull with even pressure, and it will just scrape off the surface. It's important to scrape them because when you scrape the wood and holding the scraper at an angle, it will flatten out any grooves, high spots, and take the ring wood and the pulp wood down at the same time. This is your ring wood, the dark line, and the pulpwood is in between the rings. The pulpwood is softer, and therefore if you sand it, it will actually create a valley in between each ring and give it somewhat of a corrugated look when you put your varnish on. The wood used for the side construction is reduced to 1 millimeter thickness. Use a black plane and scrapers. Hold it at an angle like this and slowly move. You must prepare all the parts for the sides in that manner. This is the prepared fixture. The spruce blocks are located at the end block and the neck block. Willow blocks are in each corner. The newspaper that's in between the block and the fixture allow the fixture to be taken apart very easily. With the jacking screws, as the pressure is applied, the newsprint will tear, allowing the top and bottom plate of the mold to separate. The 1/2-inch plate, which will be the top of the mold, right here, is the side we'll dress first. Using a sanding board, put your hand at each end of the fixture and move in a circular pattern. This will bring the blocks down evenly to the top of the pattern. That'll take care of the top. All the blocks are now flush with the mold. Neck block and no gap. End block. Next, you take the clamps off and put them on the opposite side. Now that I have the clamps on the opposite side, I perform the same operation, sanding in a circular motion with even pressure on each end. This will take the blocks down to the height of the mold evenly all the way around. Now that all the blocks are down flush, what you can do is just tap on that, just like that, on your sanding board. Lift up your pattern, and you will see imprinted on there in the dust a complete pattern of the fixture and the blocks. Using the corner block pattern, place it on the mold and pin in place with the dowels on the centerline tabs. Transfer the outline of the pattern onto the blocks. Remove the pattern, turn it over, and repeat the process on the opposite side. Here the excess material has been removed from the end block, neck block, and corner blocks. Your cutouts, save them, and you can use them as a clamping fixture at a later step.